So today I'm going to use the Maggie Holmes collection that I've imported into my Silhouette library. These can be found at jessicasprague.com and I'm trying to remember where I got this one. I think I got this one off of jessicasprague.com. There's also acdigitals.com, but this one is crate paper, so I'm pretty sure I got crate paper Maggie Holmes digital edition off of jessicasprague.com. I did import all of the designs into my Silhouette library, and I also imported the papers. So for this particular video, what I'm going to show is getting a print and cut page ready with specific items and putting it back into your library so you don't have to make the same file over and over again. So for this specific page, I want to focus on cameras. So there's several cameras here that I'm going to put onto my page. So all I'm going to do is double click on each one and add them onto my 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. Now since I am printing, I needed to format that page to be 8.5 by 11 so that my regular printer can handle printing that file size. Okay, so those are all the cameras. Now for the time being, I want to keep these file sizes the way they are. I do not want to alter these, so I'm going to arrange them in a way where I can see everything a little more easily. There we go. So now I'm going to use the trace feature over here. Open the trace window, select trace area, and we'll highlight all of those elements. High pass filter off, threshold all the way up. And surprisingly, this file does a really good job of making everything really good solid yellow. So now I'll click on Trace Outer Edge. So now if I zoom in, you'll see the cut line is going to be right on the edge of these elements. So it turned out really well. It actually turned out better than I expected, even though it has so many light areas. The trace line didn't get lost in that at all. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is, as once as you make a page like this, you don't necessarily always want to have to come back and remake it. What's nice about this is I can save this as a file in my library itself, and then I can do some pretty amazing things with it as well. So the first thing we're going to do is say File, Save to Library. And I'll go ahead and name this as Cameras Maggie Holmes. This is a print and cut, and I'll say OK. Now if I go back over here and click on the Show Library, you'll see it's right here under My Own Designs. But since it is a Maggie Holmes design, I want to move this so I can drag and drop it into my Maggie Holmes folder. Now when I click on my Maggie Holmes folder, you'll see it appears right here. So what's nice about it is now I can double click on this element and it puts it right into my project as one entire element. What's nice about that is now say I want to have all of these, but I want them in a smaller size. Well, if you look at it, all of them have a cut line. So I'm set to go. All I have to do is rescale these down to a size that I like, and I can put them on my paper and fill in the other blank areas that I like. Or if I wanted to, I could just reprint everything all over again. So I don't want them too tiny, but I like them small. So let's turn it back on, and let's go ahead and ungroup these. And now, oops, make sure if you're moving some of these guys that you move them together. Let's see here, we'll have to ungroup that one as well. There we go. Now I can just select these two and move them together to another spot on my sheet. This one's a little small. I want to make that one a little bit bigger. Same thing with this one. I like them to be at least an inch. Okay, so there's a couple of them that may be a little smaller than I like, so I'm still going to edit and move some of these around a little bit. And now I think we're good. So if I want to, I can save this again as it is. I can save it to the library like this so that I don't have to make that again, which I think is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to go ahead and delete the old one over here and keep the new edited one. So now every single time I have the doubles of all of those cameras. And so you can do that with any of your files, and that way you don't have to keep recreating them over and over again. So now I'll go ahead and print and cut those out, and I'll show them to you on some Project Life cards coming up in the next week. Thanks for watching.